It is Implicit Bias back on the air. Are we, by the way, Aaron, we good on video? Because Walker just kind of started. Walker apparently is just off tonight, for those who don't know. Let's see, we're starting this, what? How far behind are we, Caleb, this week?
Well, if we go by my watch, I'll call this an hour and 45 minutes. It's not accurate. It's more along an hour.
It's closer to being an hour behind as we are here in the Top Secret Podcast layer. Finally getting underway. We got the monologue done. We got all this done because the Implicit Bias Pledge, who now really is better off dead. Trust me when I say that. I mean, that's his nickname too. Anyway, welcome into Implicit Bias. We're glad to be with you. Finally back on video, as I've now gotten my schedules right, because y'all know I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. We wanted to do video last week, but Kavan jacked up the scheduling. So we didn't have video last week.
I thought we agreed we're going to blame that on Aaron.
No, we can't. No. We're going to accept this. If we're going to blame that on anybody, it's Walker's fault. Anyway.
It all depends who was supposed to be on or who was on last week.
So last week it was me, Caleb, Kathleen, and Lewis. Correct.
Okay. That could have been good on video then.
Yeah. And it's all Walker's fault. All right. So let's dive into our weekly whiskey for our weekly whiskey segment, because this one is going to be fantastic. But before we do, let me introduce you to the crew that we have here in the Top Secret Podcast layer. You've already met a couple of them. He is the man, the myth, the legend, more myth than anything. He is Caleb Morse, the Rustic Renegade. Caleb, it's great to have you back this week.
Always a pleasure.
And I know you're excited about this particular weekly whiskey.
I am. When I saw the bottle, I perked up because I've heard about it. I haven't seen one in the wild yet. And when I saw it, I was like, how's it taste? How is it? I'm so thankful that I was able to try this tonight.
I am thrilled that this is what is our offering from our Weekly Whiskey Network partner, New News here in Lafayette. Absolutely fantastic offering. Ghostwood, we're going to talk about it. Let me tell you who's at the bar, because at the bar, we have our buddy K&B. Not just like the purple and white K&B for our New Orleans brethren. He is from Kennebra. He is Grant Galatas of William S. Nacol Jewelers.
Fantastic to be here again. I love the bottle. The presentation, that's a nice looking bottle.
Yeah, apparently you love the bottle because you're on like your fifth pour already, right?
Well, that's because we're like 2.5 hours late.
Yeah, that's again, Walker's fault. All Walker's fault.
Good to be here.
Absolutely is. Thank you, Walker.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Walker, for making this happen.
You did.
Hey, no problem. But if I didn't show up, this wouldn't be happening.
You did this.
True.
We'd have to get a second bottle.
But it's because of when you showed up that it's happening this way. Speaking of the bar, we also have Sage Bro from USCCA, which is an absolutely fantastic company. We might actually spend a little time talking about concealed carry and those things that you really have to have if you're going to do it. But it's been a while since you've been with us, Sage. Like, it's been a long time.
It has.
It's been a
the
year.
Halloween show.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to say when I dressed like my dad.
That was 2 years
that's
ago.
you now.
Yeah, that was
me.
2
Definitely
years
me
ago.
now.
Yeah,
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so you're yourself and you're your dad, which means you're what, from Arkansas? Anyway, let's dive into our weekly whiskey. Don't laugh, Walker. You resemble that comment. Oh. All right. So here we go. Let's talk about Ghostwood. This one comes in at what, 90 proof, Caleb?
90 proof, yep.
So 45% alcohol by volume. Let's start at the bar. I'm curious, and whoever wants to go first, Grant, the microphone's pointing your way. What do you think about this offering from Ghostwood? This is actually a distillery, as we get into this, that almost went south. They almost went bye-bye. They almost turned into Kaiser Soze. They almost just became a ghost because of COVID. But they managed to make it through. They managed to stay afloat, and we're thrilled to have them back now in Louisiana and see them on shelf. So what are your thoughts on this offering?
Well, it's a good thing they stayed afloat. That's a really good product. I love that it's 90 proof. Since we're starting a little bit late, if I was on glass 3, I'd be headed out the door on my way home and not knowing why.
And you wouldn't have told anybody either. You'd have just said, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
it would have been like, where's Grant?
The Irish goodbye, baby.
Yes.
It's 90 proof again, so it's very light. I talked about it earlier off mic, that it's very light and it tastes very light. It's kind of oaky. It's got a good little oaky taste to it. Not a lot of legs. It doesn't hang around on the palate for too long, leave too many flavors. But it's light. It's 90 proof, so it's a pleasant little drink.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you, especially when you say it's light.
Right.
because you do get some of those flavors, but it doesn't have that deep, dark offering that you like with a lot of bourbon.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have that caramel bomb that a lot of people are looking for.
Right.
But the flavors are very pleasurable at 90 proof.
Oaky and earthy.
Yeah, oaky and earthy, I think, is a really good description.
Yeah, it's good. Good
Okay.
little drink.
All right. Walker, you've got a glass. What do you think? Don't care. Anyway, go ahead, Walker.
Refreshing. It's very smooth. Doesn't hit. It doesn't burn. Doesn't hit the palate hard or anything. This is something that I would definitely. This is a. Well, we haven't gone there, so I won't say it. But this is something I would definitely go buy.
Okay. All right. I actually like that thought process. Is this something that I might put on the table? Is this something that there's an offering for? Yeah, I actually do like that. All right. Let's go back to the bar. Let's go to Sage.
I am very happy, since we've been sitting behind the bar for a while, waiting on Walker, that it was a little lighter. Again, it doesn't hit the palate hard. I get earthy as well. It's very smooth.
Very smooth. Okay. All right. Let's go to our the descriptor, right? If there was like a bad name for Caleb, like Destructor, like Gozer the Destroyer, we would call him Descriptor because he finds these descriptions. And I've actually got like a almost Caleb Morse description for this, but I'm going to let you go first, Caleb, and we're going to see where this chimes in.
Well, thank you. On the nose, I get toffee and honey. Like, that's what I get. I don't get much oak, much smoke, much anything on the nose, but toffee and honey. And then on the palate, toffee, candied almonds. I got candied almonds, raw sugar, and then this got me. There was years ago. This is one of those things too. Years ago, I was overseas and I had what they call berry honey or Sind honey or Sid honey. I don't remember how it goes. And it's this honey that's grown, that's harvested in the top of the Himalayas, and the bees and all that up there is mainly...
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Honey harvested in the top of the Himalayas with bees who only flurry about for 3 weeks a year because of the cold.
And it's mainly off of like fruit-bearing or berry-bearing bushes. So it has a hint of berry to it because it's a hint. It's not much. It's a hint. And man, it's so damn good. But it finishes like a dry wine.
You get a little whiny with it. I do agree.
It's a little whiny, but it's crisp and clean on the finish. It's pretty impressive, especially when you think this comes out of Bozeman, Montana, which is not where you would expect to find a good bourbon from. And man, it's very, very nice. The name, the Ghostwood, goes from sitting around a campfire and telling ghost stories with your friends. And then supposedly up there, they carve your story into the Ghostwood, whichever the hell that is. I don't know what that is, but I know what this is, and this is good stuff.
Okay, so I get the honey. I get the whiny. Absolutely. This, to me, it's light on the palate. It doesn't have long legs, but what's interesting is the finish is longer than you expect. So it hits the palate. It hits light. It hits crisp. It hits refreshing, like Walker said. And you think, man, it's probably not going to hang around for a while. But it does hang around for a while on the palate. What I get from this is a summer wheat field. That is what I get from this. Like, this to me is when it hits the palate, that is the feeling that just overtakes the system, which is sitting in a wheat field or walking through a wheat field in the summer, that bright nose that you get, not just on the whiskey, but from the wheat field, and then that weedy taste to it. This is a blend. I don't know that it's a wheated.
It's a 4 grain. I don't know what it is, but is it like whenever you're watching Dances with Wolves and Kevin Costner goes out there in that field and he's like, Tatanka.
There it is. There it is. See, I told you. Yeah. There it is. How does he go?
Tatanka.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No,
Everyone knows that scene.
That's pretty much exactly what I get with this, which is really interesting because I wouldn't necessarily have expected it, but coming out of Montana, it almost, to me, echoes what you expect with the topography up there. That crisp, clean flavor that you get with the crisp, clean air, pristine. It almost has a purified quality about it.
I think we need to go hunting is what it is.
Oh, that would not upset me one bit, especially to go hunting up there in Montana with, a couple cases of this for a night. and that would make for an interesting hunt the next morning.
Follow-up question.
Yeah, sure.
Caleb, did you get toffee on the nose or on the palate?
The nose and the palate.
Okay, because I like to look at the descriptions online to see how good y'all are at this, and it never ceases to amaze me because they did mention this the toffee and spice, wood, nutty, slightly buttery, and earthy.
Earthy to me is what this really brings out.
Hence the Wheatfield.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Dances with
I'm not
Wolves. Kevin Costner and Socks the Wolf. And, yeah,
I'm not getting
I didn't
a lot
get that
of,
far.
I'm not getting a lot of buttery on it. but maybe-
Tatanka.
Yeah. Like everyone knows that line. You know that part.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
movie,
No, actually, I didn't know that line. I don't.
Really?
I don't remember of all the movie references that I do know. That is not one that I'm just like.
Like
Well, you remember it now because it was the buffalo.
Yeah, he's
the
like
sign from
Tatanka.
Buffalo.
He did
no,
like this.
I'll just remember
Yeah.
it because of Caleb.
The two big lines, the two big things to call out from that movie are Tatanka and
Yeah.
good trade.
Good. Yeah, but spot on. I don't know how you pulled toffee out of that because
I get
again,
it,
I'm surface taste with this. I can get buttery. I can get kind of caramelly, a little bit earthy, and oak because they do say oak as well. So I didn't. I was able to pull a little bit of the oak, but no, there was no way I was grabbing toffee out of that.
I guess
So nicely done.
I actually get spicy more than toffee, but I do
very
see.
little
To me, it's a
spice.
light toffee. It's not like a score bar.
No, it's definitely it's hints of flavors. It's not in your face.
No.
It's not aggressive. This is gentle. It's an easy drinker. You could drink this year round. But I agree, this is a summer beverage. Like this time of year where we're transitioning from hot summer to not as hot summer. So hunting season's about to start. This is the perfect time for this down here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. This hits, and you could actually drink this over the summer when it's hot as well. It's got that light, crisp flavor to it. So I'm absolutely with you. Okay, we're gonna play What Would You Pay in an ensuing segment. And again, I'll be transparent. It's because I left the receipt in the bag, and the bag is over there. So we'll get that in a few minutes. But here's what we're going to do. We are going to rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code. As Caleb takes notes in the Implicit Bias Whiskey Tasting Journal, which you can find on Amazon. Just search Implicit Bias Whiskey Tasting Journal. Not hard to find. And you can get, well, you can't get our notes, but you get the full tasting wheel. You get the full way to document your journey of whiskey tasting. So let's go ahead and start, Walker, with you. Where would you rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code? And for the uninitiated in New Orleans, Monroe, Vidalia, Natchez, Mississippi, all the way into Ruston and Shreveport, this is the Morse Whiskey Rating Code. Red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. Yellow, I would only drink it if it was free. Green, I would buy this. Or blue, I would seek this out. So, Walker, let's start with you. Red, yellow, green, or blue?
I'm going to give it a blue. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I really did enjoy it.
That is high praise.
I'm 100% giving it a blue.
Okay. Let's go to the bar. Let's start with Grant.
Wait, we do what would you pay later?
We're going to what would you pay
sorry.
later? Yeah, you missed when I explained
Pay
that.
attention, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to green this.
Okay. Giving it a green?
Yeah, it's for me. It's looking for that wow factor. I guess it's just a lower proof. I enjoy the little bit higher proof, 110 proof and stuff. Right? It's,
Ooh, what happened there? Now all of a sudden, Grant Galatas is drinking with the big boys at the big boy table.
It was bound to happen.
We
sooner or
love
later.
it. We love it. We're turning you to a proof hound like the rest of us here in the Top Secret Podcast lair.
But there's just something about blues that that hits you just a little bit harder than this, and it's a good solid green for me.
Okay. Sage, what about you?
You knowing that I don't necessarily drink a whole bunch of whiskey, this is a blue for me too. I love the bottle. It tastes fantastic. It's I don't know. I'm gonna go find this after
Okay.
the show. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's really, really interesting. All right, Caleb, we'll go to you.
This is a solid green for me. Like it's a wonderful drinker. It just doesn't have that wow factor for me. The flavors are pleasant. The aroma's pleasant. I mean, I'm on my 4th or 5th glass now, I think, at this point in time. So it's going down really smoothly and easily. But to me, it's a green. A green.
Okay. To you, it's a green. To me, it's absolutely a green. I've got and normally I'm the one who's maybe enjoying it a little too much. Normally I'm the one who's going to overemphasize the flavors just because that's my nature. But this one for me, a straight up green. I agree with Grant in that the proof isn't quite there. The depth of flavor isn't quite there for me. And on top of that, I'm one of those guys that likes that big caramel. I like that aggression that you like, and it's not quite there at a 90 proof. Now, we've got multiple extensions of this particular whiskey this month. So you never know what one of the others might do here on Implicit Bias. But officially, as the rating goes, and Aaron, I know Aaron's not even on camera. Nobody knows Aaron's here because Aaron's the guy that takes care of video. He doesn't even have a microphone. He's just sitting in the back, but guess what he does have? He's got a glass of whiskey. I'm curious. Red, yellow, green, blue. Not that it matters. Green. Yeah, he's with the rest of us. He gives it a green. And look, I'm not lying. We're going to show you a picture on social media of Aaron sitting in the back of the room because just so you know, we're not lying that he's here. But yes, so we've got green. It is for this particular whiskey. Love that it's there. And look, we are going to be completely hospitable. If you like it, if you don't like it, we want you here with us sampling weekly whiskey. We're going to play What Would You Pay? And we're going to start diving into the stories that really make a big difference this week because, man, Thursday, the day that we record this show, is the gift that keeps on giving. News breaking while it's happening, which is relevant to you and to all those you are hospitable to. When we come back with more Implicit Bias.